Hey everybody, Shane Severson here, Legacy Realty, and I am coming to you with our April market update. Our numbers are in for April, and I want to jump right in. There's a lot of craziness going on. The market right now, I would call it volatile, although be very careful. Watch till the end of this video before all our doomsdayers start saying it's going to crash and all of that, because we are far from that. But let me explain what I mean by volatile towards the end. Let's jump in with our April numbers. Our average sales price for 2021 is $644,736. That is up 23.1% over last year. That is mind-blowing. We're going to talk about that. Our active number of listings in April was 3,255 homes on the market. Now that is a 67.6% drop from the year before. We're going to talk about this as well, but last year in April, we had over 10,000 homes on the market, and we're currently sitting at about 3,000. So that is a 67% drop. Let's talk about our month's supply. Our month's supply for April is we're still running at about a half a month's supply. So we're at 0.6. Last year, that's a 70% drop over last year when we had 2 months supply. So here's the deal. Again, for that month's supply, if we added no new homes with all the buyers that we currently have, how long would it take us to sell out of the homes, all of it that we currently have? And it would take approximately 2 weeks. You heard me right. 2 weeks, which we're not adding homes, which is adding to the issue. So yeah, the market is volatile at best, I would say. So let's address some of this application, some of this, how it applies to you and me and so forth. First of all, let me say, I have been talking for years when people have been saying, Shane, be careful, the market's going to crash. I've got people in the business telling me to be careful and so forth. Here's the deal, and I hope you hear me. A market is driven by supply and demand. Outside of us having World War III or somebody comes in and takes over the United States, cataclysmic event in our life, and I would not put COVID as a cataclysmic event in our life, far from it. We need something major life-altering in order for the entire market to crash. That would change, and that would be different from what I'm talking about. Outside of that, we simply do not have enough homes on the market for this to change. We need 8 to 10 times the amount of homes on the market just to be stable market. That's not a buyer's market. We're so used to a seller's market now, we don't even understand what a buyer's market is. I've been in the business for 22 years, and only a couple of those years have actually been favoring the buyer. There are some neutral years, but most of what all of us have ever experienced is a seller's market. Good time to sell, put it on the market, get full price, goes fairly quickly. If a house goes in a month or two, that's pretty much a seller's market. And we need 8 to 10 times the amount of homes just to make it stable, not even a buyer's market. We're not even close to that. So the market is not it's not dropping, it's not crashing. So if you're still holding out for the market to crash, I'm telling you, you are wasting money by the day, by the month, by the year, throwing money away. Our average home last year went up 120,000. So if you haven't been listening, if you didn't buy a home last year, that average home now has gone up 120,000. So I think it's time to buy. So that is the first thing that I want to talk about. It's not crashing. Now, to go further in that, there have been people saying that all the foreclosures, all the forbearance because of COVID, they would say it is a cataclysmic event. It did change everything, and all the unemployment, there's lots of forbearances, lots of foreclosures that are coming. Here's the statistics, and I've heard these statistics, I've done the research. 80% of every single forbearance that has taken place has already been resolved. So that only leaves 20% left. Here's the second statistic that I want to throw out. Of all the forbearances, only 5% were actually in danger, meaning they might have been close to even on their value to what they owe, or they're upside down. Now you tell me, when a house price is going up 20, 30,000 in the last 2 months, who's going to foreclose? Nobody. This is the first time in history, I think, you could have bought a house 3 months ago and actually sell it in 3 months and make a profit. Mind-blowing. I can't even believe it, but that's what we're talking about right now. So in essence, number one thing I wanted to address is the market is not going down. It is not crashing. If you are looking to buy, you need to do it now. If you're looking to get into investing, you need to do it now. Don't wait for a year. Don't wait for 2 years, because it is going to run away on you and you will not be able to catch up. So that's the first thing that I wanted to talk about. Second thing I want to address is this idea of, Shane, there's no way at these prices people can afford it. How can you get in and buy a home? It's too expensive. The prices are going to have to come down. And here's what I would say. If you actually do the research and pull percentage of sales price versus income from all the way back in the 70s, it's almost the exact same as it is today. So, okay, there's no way that can be true. Well, I'll go back further than the 70s, and I will say, and I haven't run these numbers, I don't have it on my notes anywhere, so I'm just talking here, so my numbers aren't going to be exact. Don't grab a calculator and shoot me an email. But my grandparents, I don't know, back in whenever they bought their first home, let's say their income was $2,000 to $3,000 a year. My grandma probably didn't work at that time. Culture has changed, and my grandpa was the only one working, and he made $2,000 to $3,000 a year. His house was roughly around $20,000 to $25,000. Okay, so we got those numbers. Today, on an average of $650,000, if somebody makes $50,000, $60,000 a year, you combine that with now 2-income home, which is pretty normal, you probably is more affordable today than it was for my grandparents to buy their first home. Same for my parents and vice versa. So it's actually probably more affordable, and prices could go up more, and it would still be within that realm of affordability for all these years. Think about interest rates. Interest rates are still at an all-time low. I know they're climbing a little bit, but to even say rates are climbing and we're in the threes is almost funny, and I should be laughed out for even saying that. So rates are all-time low, and it's more affordable today to buy homes. So market's not crashing. Prices don't have to settle for people to buy. It's a misnomer. It's very short-sighted thinking on the topic. Let's talk about my concern. Now, I am, when it comes to risk and risk aversion and all of that stuff, I'm a risk taker. I'm not extremely conservative with those things. I am fairly risky, and those of you who know me know that. I've been talking about the market not crashing. I've been talking about now's the time to buy. But In the last 3 to 4 months, I've been talking about this for some time. I'm a little concerned. To me, the market is extremely volatile and I don't know what's going on. I'm on phone calls and all of that with the brightest of the bright, 20, 30 years in the business. And when I hear them talk, it's like, I don't think they truly understand what's really happening either. So it's very concerning right now. Let me give you some numbers that should blow your mind and should make us just stop and pause for a second. We grew 23% last year, our price did. 23%. In a market that we're normally growing 6 to 8%. In my years, I've seen jumps 10%, 12%, 15%, but 23%, that's not normal. And if anybody tells you that that's normal and the prices, that's our new normal, you need to stop and pause. We have gone up. The average, over the last 10 years, we've averaged about a 6% increase. I'll take that back. Since the 70s, we have averaged about a 6% increase. Over the last 10 years, maybe 8%, something like that. So our market in Denver, which is one of the strongest markets in the United States, is growing at roughly 6 to 8% a year. The last month, we grew 6%. The month before that, we grew 6%. We're half of the 23% increase is in the last 2 months. Within the last 3 months, the average price has grown by $65,000. Something's not right. A market doesn't just do this. It doesn't just do that unless something is forcing it to do that. My concern is most of that is the overbidding. I think it's the stupidity, the craziness, people just freaking out thinking I've got to get a house because the market's going to continue to increase, which it is. But the market should increase on an average home $30,000 a year, not $120,000 a year. So for me to take my buyers or for me to go buy a house $120,000 over what it's worth on paper, I'm not doing it, and neither should you. You shouldn't do it. There should be pause at least to doing that. Now, with all that being said, let me just end this way. If you are a buyer, there are still some decent deals. I don't have time to go into that, how to find them, how to negotiate them, all of that. So if you are a buyer, I'm not saying you have to pay $100,000 over asking. We can get you a better deal. But here's the deal. Here's the deal. If you do not have $10,000, $20,000 or more in cash, that's not your down payment. Let's say you're buying an average home and you got 20, 30 grand in the bank for your down payment. You need your down payment. Then on top of that, get it from your family, get it from your parents, get it from a relative. If you don't have an extra 20 grand on top of your down payment, I would say the chance of you being able to win a bid in this market is less than 1%. It's nearly, I would say it's impossible, but I'll give you a 1% chance. Every single house on the market's getting 5 offers, 10 offers, 15 offers, and they're getting cash offers. And if not cash, they're waiving appraisal. So no matter what it appraises for, you're bidding 50 grand over and you're guaranteeing that 50 grand, meaning you need that in cash. If you don't have cash, you can't buy a house right now, which I wouldn't want you to buy a house anyway. We need to wait and see. I don't know that we're going to get enough homes to slow this market down by the end of the year. I was hoping we would, but I can't imagine we're going to go from 3,000 to 10,000 in just a few months. But let's take it slow. Let's take it cautious. If you're a buyer, you should be thinking about buying. You should get qualified. You should be talking to me now. We should be making the plan, but then we'll walk it out slowly and make sure you don't overpay for the house. I feel like I could keep going. I feel like I could talk for 30, 40, 50 minutes because this is such critical information. Bottom line, if you are looking to sell, If you are looking to buy or you're looking to invest, you need to be calling someone that is an expert in this market, not just somebody telling you you need to buy because the market is, not going to go down. That is unwise. Call somebody who knows what they're doing, get some good, wise counsel, and let's get you in a house this year so that you can use that increase for the future. If you like this information, please hit the button share. Share this so other people can see it. And if you're watching this and you don't follow us here at Legacy Realty, make sure you follow us. Tell your friends about us. We would love to get the word out, and we would love to help you and your friends. God bless. Hope that helps. We'll see you next time.